everyone, welcome to the Captain Drone YouTube channel. My name is Steve, and in this video we're taking a look at this baby. This is the JCZK 300C Pro, and it is a helicopter that is designed for beginners and pros. Looking at this beast, you can see mine is the red version. It also comes in the silver version. Now let me tell you a story. I bought this helicopter about 5 or 7 years ago. Not this one. This is the newly updated version that is super good, but the one I had from 5 years ago, it wasn't that good. Well, it was good if you flew it in manual mode, 3D or manual mode, but if you tried to fly it in beginner mode and GPS mode, the GPS went kind of wonky and the flight controller was a little weird as well as the GPS, so it was hit and miss when you flew it in beginner mode. And as I'm talking, you're seeing video of it flying up here, but it's flying really well in this video because Jedi Steve is flying it and he's flying it in manual mode. Now, if you can fly in manual mode, it was a great heli. Matter of fact, it was so good, Jedi Steve loved it, so I sold it to him. And about a month ago, STIRLINGKIT sent me this one. This is theirs, and it's an updated version, and I will say it's really good. You're going to see in this video all the problems I had in the previous version from 5 years ago, they're all fixed. This thing is awesome. First off, let me just say that the GPS in this thing acquires the GPS super fast. You're waiting seconds for it to get a lock, and then you can fly in 6G mode, which is beginner mode, and it's very stabilized. Next thing, let me say that the flight controller has been updated. It is the latest, greatest, as well as that GPS, and even the receiver is updated. And as expected, the brushless motors are all updated because it's much more powerful. It now flies on a 4S battery with higher voltage, so it has a higher amped ESC. I think the older version I had was only a 3S battery version with a different voltage configuration, so it wasn't as powerful. One thing that's still pretty amazing is in the tail, they left it belt-driven. Now, belt-driven tail rotors are something you only see in the most expensive helicopters on the planet. You don't see that anymore in the budget-friendly helicopters, but it's belt-driven. And I believe the servos, there's about 3 or 4 servos on here, and I believe they are all updated. So they're all metal servos, digital metal servos. The main rotor head has V2 written on it. Here, I'll bring it close so you can see that, so you know it's different than the older one I had. So if that focuses, you can see V2 written on the main rotor head. It just means it's different than the older model that I had from past years. Construction is pretty much still the same. It's still made out of carbon fiber, aluminum, different alloyed metals, and of course some plastic. As mentioned, this new one does run on a 4S LiPo battery, and the battery they include is a 4000 milliamp hour LiPo battery. Now, I've flown this on 3 different batteries, all 4S, so there's this one that comes with it, which is really good, and I used a Spectrum battery at 4000 4S, and I used another little Gen Ace battery, much smaller, at 22. And I think I already mentioned it, but on the bottom you have a new 60 amp ESC. Using the included battery, you get about 12 minutes maximum flight time, but you're probably going to land at 10 minutes. Now, when STIRLINGKIT sent me this helicopter, they also sent me these little 1/12 scale characters, and most of them are like, I don't know, they don't look like people that would fly a helicopter. However, one of them does. Let me show you. Let me just open the door so you can look inside. It's highly detailed inside. It's amazing. Let me bring this close. There you go. That's the character I have that I like, because he does look like a guy that would fly a heli. He seems about the right scale, and I probably have some close-up shots of the interior, but I'm trying to do it here just to show you, and if I have close-up shots, I'll put them over top so you can see what the interior looks like. Both doors on here open and close, and they stay shut nicely. If you're a beginner, you're going to love this. The landing gear is on springs. You see how I can flex it? And if you land hard because you're a beginner and you're bringing the heli down hard, it's not going to damage the heli because it's going to flex on the springs. Now let's move on to the radio. Included with this kit is a 12-channel radio. Now this 12-channel radio is a radio you'd use in the RC hobby. So if you have this radio with this helicopter, you can also use this radio with other items you have in the hobby, maybe other helicopters, other planes, other cars, other boats, other drones, things like that. And it also has a color display down here. You can program this radio to do all sorts of things with this helicopter. I didn't bother. I just left it basic straight out of the box when I flew it. And I should mention, with this radio and this heli, if this heli's flying, you have a range of maybe 2.5 kilometers away. That's a fair distance. You won't even be able to see this thing in the air if it was flying at that range, so you're not going to do it. On the ground, if you're walking back from the ground, if you have it on the ground, the range is maybe 800 meters, so it means you could stand 800 meters away, then start it up. But the receiver in here and this is all designed for flying in the air, not being on the ground like an RC car. And the last thing to say before I show you my flight is it does come with a 3-year warranty. So if you're flying it and anything goes wrong while it's flying in the air, it's not something you caused, but something went wrong with the electronics, apparently everything's under warranty. You'll have to check the website for more details. Oh, and before some goofball asks, hey, is that under 250 grams with this big battery? No, it's not under 250 grams. Anyways, let me show you my flight. I'm going to show you flying it in beginner mode. I'm a one-man show. I'm the only guy at the field. I'm going to fly this. Then I'm going to put the remote down. I'm going to take a big camera and I'm going to film it in the air. You're going to see me do all that. I'm not even touching the joysticks or anything. And it's flying itself. It's that simple. Then I'm going to get Jedi Steve to come over and he's going to fly it in manual mode, which is called 3D mode. And you'll get to see how it performs. Anyways, watch all this, then come back to me. I love how everything comes in this nice carry case. So whenever you go to the field, just bring this case along and everything is in here, all set to go. Take out our radio transmitter, then take out our heli, and we're all set. This is pretty simple to set up. So let me just put this over here. Take off the blade guard right back here. We don't need that. And then just take our blades and bend them out. I could say bend, we'll pull them out. And I do have little mans in here, but the little guys are falling all over the place, so I'll leave them in. They'll fall all over the place with the vibrations. I think you have to double side tape them in there so they stay nice and tight. Next thing we do is we turn on our radio and make sure our switches are in the right spot. So let's power this on. There we go. Let me show you the switches quick. Up here on this switch, make sure it is on normal, so all the way up, farthest away from you. And on this switch over here, make sure it's on GPS mode if you want to fly in GPS mode. And this switch over here, make sure it's on stop. Next thing we have to do is connect our battery, and if my hat cam catches it, you can see down here you have the little battery connector, you have the battery here, and these two just need to be connected and you're all set to go. So I'll plug this in now. And I'll put this down flat and it's going to get itself ready. I'm just going to turn it in this orientation. There we go. We're all good. Does its little dance back there. Everything's moving around. So when this comes out of the box, the tail prop is all bent up like that. You just straighten it out. There we go. And then over here on top where it says H1, that's going to flash usually a yellow color. When it goes solid green, that means it has sufficient GPS for flight. That didn't take very long. It is solid green right now. That's good. So what I have in my hand here is an Insta360 Go 3 camera. And I'm going to take that camera and I'm just going to stick it to the side. I have a piece of double-sided tape down here. And then with the Insta360 camera, you can see I'm pointing at it away down there. I'll get some footage as it's flying, shooting out the front. All right, here we have the maiden flight. So we pull these joysticks down and out like this. Count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release the joysticks and then switch this switch up here to run. There she goes. And then I'm just going to stand back over here out of the way. Then move the left joystick. It's spinning up fast enough now. Move the left joystick. It should go up nicely. There we are. She should sit in the air smoothly. There is a bit of wind. I do have gloves on. I don't like flying with gloves on, but I've got gloves. Anyway, so this is designed for first-time pilots. If you can fly a DJI drone, you can fly this beast. So let me just show you what I mean. I'm going to fly this way just like I would fly a DJI drone. It has altitude hold, plus the GPS, plus barometer. So very easy to fly. I'm bringing it back to me. The camera should catch me in the image. I see that with the wind, the tail is a little sensitive with my gloves on. I have to be a little bit more softer on the joysticks. So let's see. I'm trying to fly it really slow. You can see the little mans inside. Maybe, maybe not. They're vibrating a little bit, but there we go. And if you want to go faster, here we go. A little faster. There we are. I'll spin by me fast. Once again, it is made for first-time pilots, so you're not going to break any speed records if you fly in GPS mode. It's very, very safe, and it looks pretty cool in the air. Look at that. That is awesome. All right. Roll it over. There we go. I'll show you the fancy tricks it can do. There's my little man's inside. I don't know if you can see it. So let me just put it over here. I'll get my other camera and I'll show you the fancy tricks. Put it over there. It does look beautiful. It's like a gorgeous heli. So here I am filming it close up with my zoom camera. There is a wind, so it's trying to keep itself still in the wind. But I will say it's doing a fantastic job. Look at it in comparison to the school behind it. It's doing a good job just holding itself in the wind. That's really good. All right, let me show you what tricks it does. So now I have it doing a figure 8. It's doing it autonomously. She goes, she's gonna come right at me. I gotta get the heck out of the way. Well, it's going over me. Whoa, that was a little scary. That was a little scary. Hang on a sec. Let me zoom into this and we'll get it looking up more awesome. It's going around. I'm not flying, it is flying itself. Doing the figure 8. So I've got the remote on the ground and I'm just gonna get down on my knees here as it goes over. Because it is gonna hit me if it goes too high. There we go. If I'm standing too high, I mean. All right, so that's pretty cool. Next one I'm gonna get it to do is the nose in orbit. That's what it's doing now. You can see that. Here, I'll zoom into it a bit. There we are. So basically what it does is wherever the heli is and you hit that O switch, that's a nose in circle or orbit, and it's designed just to go around the subject. So in other words, yourself, you would put yourself in the center and just let it go. If I zoom out, this is what it looks like. You see it's just doing a big O. Going around, then around. Where she stops, nobody knows. There we go. All right, and now for my last trick, I'm just take it out. I'm gonna take it away out over here in the field. Let's say the battery was low or something, or it was losing connection, or I was lazy and I wanted to bring it home. All I'm gonna do is over here, I have 3D, GPS, and home. So you pull this switch all the way down. So here we go. You'll see it go up all the way down now. Should go straight up. And it should come back to me. So we'll just see what it does. It's coming back. And it should land over on this yellow pad. I'm gonna look up at it here. There we are, it's turning. You can cancel the return to home at any time. You just flick this switch here. I'm walking over here, I'll see where it's coming down. So you can see, it's not really over the landing pad. There we go. I just want to make sure it doesn't hit this big camera down here. Oh, it is too. Hang on a sec. I'm going to move it out of the way. There we go. You can still control it a little bit. There we go. So she landed herself, and that's it. And for safety, always take this little switch here where it says run, push it on stop. There we go. That means the motors won't start up again. And that's pretty much it. That's the GPS flight. So that was the GPS flight. Designed for beginners, first-time pilots. If you have zero experience flying anything in the RC hobby, you could fly this. Just make sure there's no people around and you're out in a big field, and fly it in GPS mode like I did here. I was not even holding this remote half the time because I was holding another camera to film. It flies itself. It's that simple. So next thing we're going to do is Jedi Steve, who just showed up, is going to come over, and I'm going to let him fly this in 3D mode. Does it say 3D on here? Yeah, it says 3D mode, which is manual mode. And that is a little bit more dangerous. Beginners should not try it. I should not try it because I'd probably destroy this. But Jedi Steve will do it, and he'll fly it well. Here we go.
Top one, 3D is going to be all the way back.
Okay.
And we're staying on normal for the rest.
All right, we're good to go.
All right. Let it wind up, get full head speed.
Full control. There you go, look at that.
Very easy to fly at scale.
So that's the difference. Whoa,
It's
that's
very,
the difference
very
with 3D.
smooth. There you go, Steve. I'll fly by you. Nice and slow. You might even be able to catch the little pilots.
Okay, Steve, you can bring it down for landing.
Bring her down, all right.
Yeah.
Come in from, oh, we just dropped the camera. You saw that?
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you know where it is. Stabilize it, baby. There you go. Loved it. As you know, I got one similar to this one. Mine is the 3S version. This is the 4S. Flies like mine, which means I love it. It's very smooth, very scale, fun copter to fly.
Here we have the hard-covered case that the helicopter arrives in. Opening the case, you can find your helicopter and accessories. The heli arrives fully assembled. You'll also find a note in the box stating that the heli has already been flown, so it's been tested to make sure everything works. An instruction manual is included, as well as a quick start guide. Replacement stickers are also included. Depending on your order, you'll receive 1, 2, or 3 batteries. A battery charger with cables and a plug for your country is included. The battery charger also comes with a user manual. A long USB cable is provided just in case you wish to reprogram the helicopter. You also receive a spare tail boom GPS mount and adhesive, as well as replacement stickers for the radio, and 2 spare zip ties to tie down cables. A 12-channel programmable radio is included. The joysticks sit in the middle, so it's perfect for beginners. As well, it can be converted from mode 2 to mode 1 as you wish. Only the switches that have labels are the ones that have been programmed in the radio. To power the radio, you will need to supply 8 AA batteries. Batteries are not included. Just stick them in the battery holder and then plug the battery holder into the radio. Alright, you're back to me, and let me tell you a few things I find interesting about this helicopter. First off, the battery they give you, this 4-cell battery that comes with the helicopter, it's not a cheapy battery. This is a really high-end battery. I'm not sure why they include it with the helicopter, but it's a real high-quality battery. As a matter of fact, it's so high quality that it's a smart battery, and it's designed to be used with a smart charger by JCZK, because it's a JCZK battery. So if you have this charger, which is called the iMars D300, I've done a full review on it. If you haven't seen that review, I'll put a link below. If you have this charger and you have this battery, all you do is plug this battery into the charger. It does everything for you. But this charger is not super cheap. It's like not a $25 charger, so they didn't include it with the kit. What they did include is this battery charger. Certainly it's a good battery charger, but it's very basic, very standard. It's been around in the industry for a long time, but you could charge up this battery with this. It's just not as good as this battery charger. So I just found it interesting that they included a super high quality battery. Now the next thing a lot of people are going to want to know is how big is it in comparison to something like the Flywing Huey. So here's the Flywing Huey, there's the 300C below, and you can see the size. They are pretty much the same size. Next, you'll want to know if I have any negatives. Well, I don't really have any negatives, but I wish in this day and age, when you buy a helicopter like this that flies for 10 or 12 minutes on the included battery, certainly if you want to use a larger battery, you can somehow squish it in the little hole if you want. But either case, I wish it had something that would tell you that the battery is low automatically without you having to set it up yourself. Because a lot of newbies will buy this and not understand how to set something up. This radio is programmable, and if it receives the information from the telemetry from this back to here, then you can set up any alarms to let you know of certain things. But right out of the box, it's set up very basic. So that's not a negative. It's just something I wish the company had done so that this was even more awesome for beginners. And in that review video you saw, I did not set up the radio any way other than how it came in the box. Matter of fact, I pulled everything out of the box. I had just charged up the battery and flew it. So it flies. It's ready to go right for beginners. Now, the only real negative I have is obviously the price. This is not cheap. You pay an awful lot for what you get. And if people pay as much as this thing costs for this being highly detailed and probably one of the most awesome looking helis you'll have at a field, well then you're really going to be careful with it and want not to break it. Certainly there's a 3-year warranty on that, but for the price, if you slam it into the ground, the warranty doesn't cover that. This would have to fall out of the sky. Like as you're flying, a blade goes flying off or something happens with the servos or the electronics. But it does have repetitive safety systems in it. In other words, say you're flying and the GPS goes wonky. It loses connection with the GPS satellites. no worries, because it will continue flying because the other systems in it take over. And it works the opposite too. Say the other systems stop working, but the GPS keeps working. It doesn't matter. It's going to stay level and keep on flying. You can bring it back and land it with no problem. And that is why it has a 3-year warranty, because the company knows, the odds of something going wrong are highly, highly minimal. So with all that said, I'm going to place links to this baby below this video, as well as links to other helicopters on the website. You can go check them out, see what the price is, check out the warranty information, and see if this is something you would consider buying. I guarantee if you buy this, you're going to be pretty happy, because if you're a beginner, you can fly this. There's no way you cannot fly this. And if you don't know what you're doing, just hit the return to home and land it right away. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. If you have questions on this heli, post your questions below and I will get back to you. But for now, I say if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in a future video with many more cool product reviews. Till then, bye.